I gotta say, Coach Mike Vick and Coach DeSean Jackson has a ring to it. And what's best about this, both of them are now head coaches. Within the last week, Mike Vick is now the Michael Vick. Again, yes, the NFL player is now the coach of Norfolk State. And then also DeSean Jackson is now the coach of Delaware State. And they're in the same division. Man, college football is a crazy place. As of right now, it's almost more exciting than the NFL right now, man. And I love the NFL. I'm not dissing it, but man, I got a lot to take and unpackage today. What does this mean for this division for college football? Obviously, we know the Coach Prime effects. Coach Prime, former NFL, one of the greatest defensive backs of all time. But he had left the HBCU realms and went on to bigger opportunities, right? However, you do have former NFL players who are still taking and doing it over at Texas Southern. You got Chris Dishman, friend of the show, by the way. I've had him on this channel. And then you have Eddie George, who's over at, I believe it's Tennessee State, and he's still over there crushing it, doing his thing. This is not a fad. This is a real thing. Michael Vick cares about these young men, and DeSean Jackson wants to give back. They don't have any coaching experience, at least not to my knowledge, but these are guys who both have a plethora of resources who are going to take and bring in other coaches and other former NFL guys and other great football minds here to pour into these young men. Why is this such big news? Not just because they're big names. I'm a big Mike Vick fan. I'm actually, you should tell by that, I'm a Dolphins fan, but I actually was the first person in my whole middle school or even the high school up the street with a Mike Vick jersey. So I love Mike Vick. Been a fan forever. DeSean Jackson as well, too. One of the greatest deep ball receivers of all time. Hopefully he gets in the Hall of Fame one day. But regarding coaching, you guys know that there's, I think, with how college football being a business and everything like that, you know, they're only going to be able to take and keep maybe like 106, 105. I don't have the numbers in front of me. People on the roster. And not all of them are going to be able to get paid. They're essentially professional athletes, right? What I take and I see happening is there'll even be some situations where you'll have 85 people getting paid and the last 15 are just walk-ons. And they're coming out of pocket for school, essentially, right? But I could definitely, totally, unequivocally take and see a world where people are going to these smaller schools. Norfolk, Delaware State, they're going to these smaller schools for more opportunities. And not that they're plunging with money, but they're going to get an additional funding because Michael Vick is there. They're going to take and be able to get a DeSean Jackson there, they're going to be able to get additional funding. I want to talk about DeSean Jackson before we get to Michael Vick. Now, Michael Vick, he's an entrepreneur and he's tried out a lot of business ideas. I see this as being something where his heart really is, and that's with young people. But DeSean Jackson, y'all remember Chip Kelly was his coach, and it was very controversial. Unless you lived under a rock, then you missed it, that his issues with Chip Kelly. So he knows what it is to deal with a bad coach, a crappy coach, a coach that doesn't understand, a coach that wants to tear apart the team dynamic. He even took and referred to him as a racist. You know what I mean? There was a lot of heat towards Chip Kelly. And some of it was definitely warranted for sure. Some of it, hey, got to have some more evidence kind of thing. But he was tearing apart a team, and he had his way of doing things, and it just did not work out at all. And I think that those experiences are going to take and be able to help DeSean Jackson a lot. Now, from what I read online, Coach Hull was a former coach for Delaware State. So he'll be coming in, and this guy had 2 wins last year. So lost his job. This team was just not doing well. I want to go over some of the teams in the division. So you got South Carolina State, which, by the way, I saw South Carolina State play Air Force Academy in person, and they travel well. South Carolina State travels well. They came all the way to Colorado Springs, and they showed out. It was a fun game. South Carolina State got their butts whooped, but it was like 07. Great game. So I've been to one before. And then there's North Carolina Central. Go Eagles. I used to live in Raleigh. You got Morgan State, Norfolk State, which is where Mike Vick will be at. There's Howard, who has produced a few NFL players the past few years. And they got Delaware State as well, too. But Delaware State, and actually, excuse me, they were 1-11. I misspoke. They were 1-11. Yeah, that's bad. 0-5. They didn't win a single game even in their conference. So he is coming into a crap show. It is going to get messy. Now, we've seen what this looks like when things don't work out. Ed Reed, he had put out a video talking about Bethune-Cookman. To my knowledge, he wasn't quite offered the job, but was about to be offered the job and was just bashing the facility. That could be handled a lot more differently. I don't think that was necessarily a good thing that he did that, but I would have loved to see Ed Reed take and become a coach. Who knows? Maybe Mike Vick, maybe DeSean Jackson could take and bring him on board. I don't know. It's totally possible. I'm not sure what part of the country he lives at, Ed Reed, but it would be cool if he can make it out there and start taking coaching. Also, these guys have a lot of friends, both Mike Vick and DeSean Jackson. Sometimes even people in the same friend group, I could imagine, because they were teammates for that long. But how great, how awesome, how wonderful would it take and be if they're able to get some of their other buddies who have a plethora of football knowledge, but they just cannot get a coaching job because their name isn't Michael Vick. Their name is not DeSean Jackson. This division in football just became really fun. Just like the SWAC was like really, and SWAC is still really good football. It's great college football. But this division, I'm going to be watching a lot of Norfolk State. I'm going to be watching a whole lot of Delaware State. I'm going to be paying attention. I'm going to be watching them on the sidelines. I want to hear what kind of motivator is he. Obviously, he is not going to be perfect. But one thing Coach DeSean Sanders did that made him very successful is bringing other football minds. And it wasn't exactly perfect because that first year, Colorado was not the best. I know Colorado's not HBCU, but I'm going somewhere with this. He brought in more football minds. And then when he left Jackson State, he empowered that program. Jackson State is still a dominant program. They're still crushing it in that division. They're still a massive, massive competitor, right? So, anywho, y'all, as I wrap up this episode, comment below what's your expectations, how excited, or maybe you're not excited at all. Let me know your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys, the people of Touchdown Nation, have to take and say. Y'all, MEAC, MEAC, the MEAC division. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. So let me know your thoughts, your expectations on these teams. How fun will it be? Is there going to be some smack talk? These guys have a huge love and respect, admiration for each other, man. So it's going to be so, so great. And let's be real. It is very, very tough to just get an offer out of a Georgia, to take and get an offer out of, the volunteer, University of Tennessee, University of Texas, Georgia, Miami, and to just come in there as a freshman and just start. They are pulling people from smaller schools, and they are taking and pulling people who are also from, these community colleges. Some of them are even from Division II. Some are from smaller D1s as well, too. I see it all of the time. Actually, Mikhail Kamara, who has, I believe he was #1 for pressures on against quarterbacks in this college football season. He won't be in the draft. He's actually going to stay another year, but totally could go in the first or second round. That guy came from James Madison. That's a small Division I program that, the powers that be still don't want to take and give respect to, but that's another conversation for another day. And he went out there and he crushed it. Now, obviously, the goal to take and make Black college football better than it's ever been, because at one point in time you were getting the Walter Paytons and people were just coming from there. It was a regular thing to have talent there. But throughout the years, hey, the Miami saw what was going on. The Georgias, the UCLAs, they all saw what was going on, right? So, and then they started to really pull, to diversify their programs, if you know what I mean, right? So we just want to see it where, hey, there's opportunities from all walks of life for people from these smaller schools, man. And because these schools have a lot to give, they're filled with history, tons of history, and really, really good football. So anyway, comment below, rant over. I'm excited. I love the moves. Let me know if you love it too. Smash that subscribe button as well too. It costs you nothing. I'll see y'all next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Peace. Thank you for watching another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where we have exclusive NFL content and exclusive NFL interviews. Be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. Follow us on social media. See you on the next one.